G'day guys, Sam here from Trade the Fast Way. Hope you guys are doing well. I haven't been online for a while because I've been ill and I'm on the upside at the moment, so bear with me and I'll try to give you a good summary of Bitcoin, my perspective for the short term and the long term, I suppose, and give my justifications. In addition, I will look at the total market cap, Tether dominance and Bitcoin dominance, and alt market or total 3 market cap, and have a holistic view of crypto. So what do we have here? If you recollect from my previous video, we had some levels, and what I want to highlight here is some historical components. What we saw as price came down, and at this point my short entry is there for Bitcoin, and also I got a long entry here. So you can see my strategy is to play the range, and I'll explain. That's from a strategy perspective. Now let's talk about what's taking place. What we saw when price came down, obviously this is a bit of a sell-off. We saw a significant sell-off, I suppose. And I did say I was expecting something like 20% from, I think the video was at 15%. I was talking about 20% drop or more. And what we got is 21%, which is good. Good buying opportunity. Are we done? No, I don't think we are. But we're in a good position where we're in a range. Now, what was the sell-off due to? Well, I have this video here, or this page, and it says FTX estate sold majority of bankrupt Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. So FTX, as you know, has been shut down, and the agencies have been looking at recovering funds, and GBTC is part of that, and they've been selling off. And that's why there was a big selling pressure, I believe, for this continue on downside. Here was a shorting opportunity because we hit the golden ratio as well as a liquidity level. But the continuous pressure was based on Grayscale's Bitcoin Trust. I think they were looking at 3 point something billion, and they actually sold for something $billion. So I believe the sell-off is finished. Maybe they'll sell more, but not so aggressively. So that explains the sell-off and why we went further down. Now you can see with my chart that here, along here, we had all the wicks, and no surprise, we go below it, and then only to have a fake out, it's a failed auction, to just reverse. And that's our liquidity pool, and it took it out. In conjunction, I believe that was a CME gap. And also, if you look from here, it's a fair value gap as well, because what does that mean? We accelerate very quickly, and price tends to come back to areas where there was no challenge. So that is what's taking place. In conjunction, we have our methodology. If we look at it from a macro perspective, we have all these levels, and our TPO weekly was perfectly hit. So that was a nice entry if you were to look at that. I was looking for further downs to this level with the monthly TPO or naked point of control. So I'm still interested in area. If price was to come back down, I'll be interested in this area for a long. And that will just mean that we take this liquidity out as well. Is that going to happen? Don't know. But that's my area of interest as well. So you can look at from the chart, liquidity perspective, levels that give justification for longs. And now the subjective line that people keep drawing is very subjective. You can draw this line or trend line of support. You can go, okay, this is what people draw, and they make that as a resistance. It's subjective. That's not a trading methodology. However, what I've done in the past was I had this line. I had this line up to that point, and I just left it there with this chart, and sure enough, we have this as support. In conjunction, if you look at price, when price breaks a key level, and in this case, if that's the trend line, we break above it, we hit these moving averages, the band that I've been talking about for a while. If we could get above that, that is a bullish sign. And with this trend line, so we kept using this trend line and the moving averages to only break above go high. So I'm looking for more highs. Now we're approaching this level of liquidity. What's that liquidity? When the shorts have come, pretty much the shorts have been coming in. All the shorts have been coming in that area. So that just above that is a liquidity level. In conjunction, you see this area here. We apply our tool, our fixed range volume profile. That methodology gives you our point of control there, in conjunction with our area high and area low. We have this little one here, and at the moment this area daily high is acting as a resistance. So I'm still looking for this area to be a shorting position. But we can also look at further levels up. We have more levels up here. That is a neckline. So we have this level as a strong resistance, and we also have this neckline. So this could go anywhere. So what we're looking for, potentially a shorting position here. I would like to see that go above. So I'd like to see price hit that level, find a rejection of some sort, and if it comes below this point of control, then I'll be looking for a short. And then this is where it's the challenge. This is where the bulls have to come back in. Now with this level here, or area value low, moving averages is going to be a strong support level. So that's a small trade. And then we're going to range, in my opinion, before it decides to drop further. If we drop this trend line again, then that is another shakeout. So what it can be then is our correction. So that could, now it plays nicely to our A, potentially B, and then we'll look for a C, potentially C here. I'll be looking for, and that is a correction wave, and then potentially a nice long entry. Don't forget, if this is a bull market, in the beginning of a bull market, the whales want to shake us out of our holdings. So if you're not a seasoned trader, I will just sit by and let it go. If you want to increase your portfolio, then there's these opportunities to trade. It really comes down to your strategy. So this is a fake out. So it was pushed further down. Is it a fake out with grayscale? Who's to know? But there is evidence that this was a good buying opportunity for the likes of the ETFs, and that's pretty much what's taken place. We also noticed here, I've got the cat annoying me right here. We also noticed that when price came down to this level, a lot of shorts opened up. A lot of open interest in shorting came, and what's taken place, I have to let the cat out, I didn't see him inside the room. Because there were open interests, people became really bearish and they start to open their shorts. So these shorts are being taken out. These shorts are probably next. So all the shorts that have come in are being taken out, meaning the stop losses are being triggered. And what it can do is when the stop losses are triggered, it means that they are going to buy back, which also propels price to go further up. So that was a clear sign that this is going to be a reversal, because the open interests were increasing significantly in the shorting direction, which is a bullish sign. And people need to see that. So moving along, we explain that there is reasons to look at levels, but in additional, if you look at open interest, which is another element to the chart, it increases your probability of making a good trade. So I have Solana roughly as well, doing something similar, and I'm long on Solana as well, more so than Bitcoin. Now here is the dilemma. Right here, we can this level is going to be strong resistance. We've got this liquidity level. I just put that as a layer. Doesn't necessarily mean that red zone. It could be further up. Just an indicator that is the level that I'm interested in. And to find the entry, we want to see price come back below it. So if this shoots up, so if this sideways for a while and then shoots up, we are likely to get a rejection and then come back down, taking out this liquidity. But there is also a lot of liquidity along here, and this is our another fair value gap. So I do like to see this come shoot up, and then if we see a good rejection, then that's even more of a reason to find a short entry. Now let's look at it from a Fibonacci perspective. We'll just look at levels of significance. This is definitely a level of significance, but you can see from that perspective. So it gives us a weekly level as well, and the value area high, and a naked point of control. So this is going to be an interesting level. Might just hit it and then get a rejection. I'm pretty confident we'll get a rejection. Question is, what kind of rejection? Are we going to look for a double? A double before we come back down. So the issue I have with this, or the challenge I have, is these moving averages, because they are significant. Here we had a dump, and then break through all of them pretty quickly. That's why it became resistance. And if you look at it, we had these resistances along the moving averages at any one point. Bit of support there. What are these moving averages? Well, they're the daily 21s, and the 50 and the 200, I believe. These moving averages do play a role as support, and if we were to drop this, then I'm looking for further lows, maybe initially to find support there, but that could be our W formation potentially, and then up again. So the bulls will, and if there's a level of support for some whatever reason, however, I'd like to see it come down more. This type of correction, you can see that could be our B. Now, if that doesn't take place, and we get a higher move, very possible that we accumulate a while here, potentially a while here. So even if we just go there, we might just stay in the range, and then that will be the target. The monthly level as a lot, and you can see the neckline on the 4-hour, very strong level, confluent with this. And what else is it confluent with? Let's take our levels out. Let's look at our weekly. So we've got point of control at the weekly right up there. Wouldn't surprise me, even if we go up there, look for a short position as well. Let's see what else we got. Daily control. Again, you can see how we've got a lot of things here popping up. We've got our daily levels. Again, this is a nice band looking for rejection based on that. And so liquidity is coming in all the way through. This one is, like I said, is a good one to take out. Once we take it out, we tend to look for more highs, because that will accelerate the stop losses. Now let's see if we've got anything else. There you go, even more. The yearly levels there. Okay, that's the yearly level. Again, this is going to be strong resistance. So if we can get past the 618, which is significant, this has got a lot of levels here. So that I would see that as a major rejection, and therefore I would like to see, I'll tend to see it come down a fair bit, maybe to this level. Definitely looking for a shorting position there, and looking for a shorting position. Not much hope with making lots of profit there, but you'll take it, and as it ranges, you'll take some profit, just to know that it could be taken out relatively easy, and then further up. The reason I'm bullish, I want to see more highs, is because of these moving averages have been taken out, and therefore these will, like you see, that how they're coming close together as well. So concentration, and as you can see, we're almost to that this level here of resistance. That's going to be a level that is worth shorting, and it might be just enough to push it down significantly to here. So I'm going to move on to the next one. I had this chart for ages, and you can see what I placed there. We go to our Elliott wave count. Let's just get rid of this. So here is a strong resistance. We hit our 618 as well for this range. Golden ratio. From a sideways, it is a macro channel and levels. Not necessarily all confluent, but the total market cap is doing very similar to what Bitcoin's doing. And therefore, I see this range reaccumulation structure really for a total market cap. There is a potential to come down to this, what we see as a golden ratio of the channel. So this level could be good support to go up. And that will be our 3 and 4 range, potentially. This is, I do believe this is 1 and 2. This might not be 3. It might just continue on, and our 3 is much further high. Short term wise, this might be the target for the total market cap or the golden ratio and the point of control. So if this is a 3 and 4, we might get a 5 and then a good correction, and then further up for the bull run. So that's what I'm looking for, looking at the total market cap at this point. If you look at it from a Wyckoff perspective, we had our reaccumulation or accumulation. That was our neckline. And so we've got a buying climax, secondary test, up thrust, and now this is the shakeout phase. And it fits perfectly into it. So this is a shakeout phase, volatility, and then potentially going up. Let's look at Tether. Okay, interesting. I haven't seen this for a while. So we got a nice rejection. Hit our previous neckline, as you can see. So if you were not familiar with this, basically Tether is an indicator of how much percentage of crypto is in Tether versus tokens. I saw this as a distribution. This is the neckline. So that is our Wyckoff structure. We hit the previous support level and we got the rejection. This has come back down nicely. That was a potentially fake out. So this could come down nice. We like to see this further come down all the way there, which is the bull run. So at the moment, we in this shakeout phase, and we might just go sideways more, which is in line with Bitcoin as well as the total market cap. So yes, I'm happy with what we're observing. This wasn't sure how high this was going to go. Could have gone a bit more higher with that trend line. But if you look at it from a weekly perspective, if those aren't familiar with it, these are all aligned with our Bitcoin tops and bottoms. Here we can see a bit of a weekly reversal there, which is bullish for Tether, but it could just go sideways for a while. But yeah, this is not nice from a weekly perspective. From a 2-day perspective, we're getting a turning crossover. We've still got a day to go, but that's what I'm looking at, this type of model. And here we go. We've got a Wyckoff, and I said that was our SOS stage potentially, and sure enough, it's playing. That actually looks bullish in nature. It's like a continuation play. So I thought maybe we'll get further high, but this is what it's looking like. Eventually, this could be the alt season soon. Let's look at Bitcoin dominance before we say that. But yes, if you look at this, this is an accumulation, a long-term accumulation for the alts. And realistically, that was a breakout from there, a significant point you've gone to the likes of Solana, you would have benefited a lot. That was the breakout point. If you look at the Wyckoff structure, here I expect more highs. Here is the levels that I'm looking for. So this accumulation has its local targets of 1.618 there. However, for the bull run, I still see much further highs, and I think based on some assumptions yet to be known, we could probably end up right here with or higher back into this channel. There is also a sideways channel that we've broken out of, but that's what I'm looking at just from a Wyckoff perspective. So Bitcoin dominance is nasty at this point. I did expect that once we broke out of that channel that we'll come down further. We did not. That's a 200 moving average on the weekly, and so it's still hanging around, and it might be the case where this is like a reaccumulation structure to only break out slightly more high, and that's when the off seasons come down. As the off seasons kick in, we might just have to hit that golden ratio level when you look at it from that perspective. So this was a long-term accumulation, and this is the SOS stage, and we might still see Bitcoin dominance go really high. And that makes sense when you look at from the likes of Ethereum not really doing well, and if you look at the fact that ETFs are mostly Bitcoin based for the institutions, so that might just drive it really strong. I still have it here as a target, but it's very difficult to say because we can also have this as a reversal and then come down. Just be careful of the tokens that you have. At this point, this is above the 200 weekly moving average, and if it breaks below that, then it's more likely to come down. At the moment, we don't see it. There is no pattern that we can rely on here. All we have is levels, Fibonacci levels, and this channel played its role, but it doesn't really help us anymore. It is difficult stages to figure out what's going on with Bitcoin dominance. So I think better is to look at Ethereum against Bitcoin, because that will indicate more so what's taking place. At the moment, Ethereum got a nice rejection against Bitcoin back into this phase, and it's nasty. We don't know what's taking place. The indicators here on the 2-day chart show that we've got a nice rejection there. For all you know, we can come back down lower. And I'm going to leave that, guys. We look at Bitcoin, and we are looking at these stages to range and short. I'm still looking for further highs, and might as well look for something else. There's not much opportunity here now at this point. There might be other tokens that will continue to move. I'm going to leave it at that, guys. Please give me a like and share, and I'll talk to you soon. Cheers.
There you have it. Please give Sam a like, share, and subscribe to his channel to support him for doing more of these posts.